Okay, everybody, welcome back. And let's go on and get into the analysis on the bias chart. Okay, we talked about the 686 right here before. I think we mentioned a couple of days ago when we were trying to make this run up here. This is where the resistance is going to come in. We've got this little zone here, or this not zone, this little level here at 716. Initial resistance here is going to come at 686. I would think you'd get a little bit of pushback here against the 686. And this is a 61% at 672. So I think you could, if they want to try and push it up here, I think everybody else is going to be looking for 716. Not saying that we won't get there, and eventually this market looks like it wants to work higher. In the bigger overall scheme, my guess is we're going to come up here towards this 865. If we can get, a more sustained correction, this is probably we're going to make a run to. Get rid of this here. But for right now, like I said, we've had a nice little pullback. Probably run into a little bit of trouble against, you got the 672, which is 61% of this move from 339 to 873. We can go on and highlight that. You see right there, 671. I've got more to 672. The 61%. You got also this little top area. Remember we talked about this before we got at the end of the year when we got all this shenanigans. And we talked about this zone. We said, hey, this first move is going to be 624. Well, we talked about the 670. I guess we still had this from back here. I don't remember. But we talked about, there was the 661. And we said, but you're probably going to see some selling as you come in against the 624. They did run out of gas for the 661. We pulled back. So we've gotten above that. So here's a key thing. You've gotten above this high. Right here. Can't believe that was like 54 if I remember correctly. And you got the 672, which is 61%. And you got that 686. And we detailed that. We detailed that 686 the other day when we were talking about it. Can they move higher? So you got this high here, this high, a little bit of consolidation here. So this 686, I mean, on a little bit larger move, you can see the 716. But for right now, I'm going to go with 686. I'd already marked that off. I haven't done any real work on the bias chart. I think we did the year. I did the year on the cable. I'm just going to leave everything fresh for when we start up. Now, support. I mean, you can look for the 624 initially, but from a little bit larger move, if we were to go and see now we got a little lower down, we start to go and pull back, your bigger support's going to be back to this bias pivot at 568. And I'm just going to leave it there. I mean, if you were day trading this thing, support's going to come in just a little below the 624, so about 50 pips lower. And you got this little ridge here. So, I mean, I think you've already flipped the switch on the move for the dollar, so I guess on a shorter term basis, it have to be right here at this level here. So let's take a look. Right there. Let's just call it 610. We'll just go on and look for a move up and where people would want to come in. So this market looks like it wants to move much higher. So let's go on and tighten this up a little bit. So the support's going to be at 610. Should be a little bit lower, but from where we're at right now and the way the market's reacting, so this is, we're stretched here. We're up against a 672, which is a 61%. We've had a pretty decent move. I'm sure people are going to want to get long the euro or be selling the dollar. The 568 is a bigger level, but on a shorter term basis from where we are at today. So here's that 610. Let's have this touch here, this touch here. Yeah, let's make that 596. It's just a little bit too tight there. I mean, if you're just day trading, you got it short up there. That's going to be a good target, the 610 or towards that area. But real support is going to be 596, 686. Like I said, we're here at 672. Should expect a little bit of a pushback. let's go on and move into the cable now. Trying to pick up my chart. Oh, wow, pull it in here. Okay, let's take a look at the cable. So we mentioned yesterday about the 121. We were trying to push down here and gun some stops. I think we got those 2098, but 2096 is 78% of the move of 1905 to 2779. 1905 is the number that DTN IQ3, which I use, which is recognized is one of the best data providers around, if not the best. That's what they had. That's what I went with. I know TOS was looking a little bit lower. But we mentioned that support was at 2075. And I did update the resistance earlier this morning, and that's going to come here at this zone here, 2362. So that's going to be the resistance here. And support now, we're going to have to say 2206, this level here, 2206. So let's move this here. Support at 2206. And resistance at the top of the zone, 2362. That's that zone we've had in place for a while. We'll pull this back for some perspective. There you go. You can see that coming across a little consolidation of battle zone there, 2362. Becomes resistance, we get there, the market kind of sits there, we take off, we come back to 2362, hit it several times, rally off of that. Come back, we congregate again to 2362 after we lost it, and then we come back for support. Same thing. So you can see the significance of 2362. So it's going to be, like I said, the resistance is going to be the top of the zone, 2362. Your dollar is still struggling with this 61% here. And don't forget that takes out the prior high, which was, I think it's 654. So you're right here. See that? We'll mark this up real quickly. That was 655. I don't know. Let's move this back here. And let's go on and move into the Aussie dollars. See where we stand there. This is one of the charts that we had lost when I made the move. Let's go on and come across right here. Start from scratch on this. That's going to be 75.26. So I'm going to mark that off right now. So we're going to have this at 75.26, which is this little zone that we have here. So let's go and mark that off. Got that there. And for support on the Aussie dollar, I think we'll take a look at it. It's this. So we can get a little overshoot here that takes us to 75.42, which should be the 61%. We might get one more little push in here. There we go. So you got 75.26 going to be resistance. Now we can come up here and tag this 75.43. So wouldn't discount it. I mean, I think that this is a decent area to go in and lay off some of your longs. You got long on this Aussie dollar move, and let's just see just right above this. $75.72, and I think we'll get a decent correction here in the dollar. So but for right now, I got the 75.26 with 75.43 being the 61%. We'll leave the 26 in there for right now. I think that we can go up there and tag that before we pull back a little bit. And support's going to come in just 74.30. Let's just call that 74.25. On a shorter term basis, it's obviously bullish. Okay, we're just going to make it more neutral. I think we have range in there. It's not really in a range, I'm saying the cable, but on a very short term, I guess you can say a counter trend. Okay, so let's go with, but I have a hard time saying that the cable is bullish or even that it's really in the range. The Aussie has flipped to bullish, so I don't think there's any doubt about that. And almost closer to put this 75. I'm going to go and go with the 75.43 because I think that they could pop past this and the 61%. So we're going to go with this 75. Call it 45. There we go. Okay, and then we'll move on to the Kiwi. Heck of a run here. How quickly the markets can change. Everybody wanted the dollar. Now everybody's trying to go the other direction. But it's just the way we are in the sense that we had to get past that news conference. We're above the 61%, so let's take a look at the 71%, and then we'll look at some levels. come into that same area. So 71.56. So 239. It feels like the dollar has to take one more dip before we can run out of gas. I like that. That 686 on the euro. Got to keep an eye on that. I mean, we're above that 71, the 61% at the 672, but we're just a hair above it. So they may try and see if they can goose it up a little bit more, but I wouldn't put too much weight on this. And I think that 686 looks smartly for a little pause. Yeah, I like this 71, right there, which is 71.51. $71.57. Actually, confluence is with the 71.56. Yes, let's call this 71.57. And we're breaking up higher, so I'm going to go with this being bullish. So, and it's on, like I said, towards the shorter term basis. 71.57. Got the euro at 680. And support. I'm going to call it right here. $70.11. That's way back here, but it is bullish. We'll just see that 70.11. Okay, the next one's going to be the dollar CAD. And the dollar CAD, we had 31.71, and we've made it down here to the bottom. Like I said, with this dollar selling off, you know, we brought up to this zone here. And we did come into some support. Despite the dip down here, I'm going to go with this 30.30. Just say that's support. You could push it even further and say 130, but that's so obvious. I'm going to go with the 30.32, which is the bottom of this zone here. You can see it here. 30.32. It did get just a hair below it, so I'm going to go with that for support. Some really big moves in the dollar. Still have the euro working a little bit higher. Resistance will be 31.31. And this is bearish. When we get back, we'll probably, in the second half hour, we're playing probably more, look at some detailed looks to kind of get, where is these markets going to go to? But for right now, we're just trying to get through this, through the buy short. So I'm going to finish all the way through. We can, at this point, we'll take a look at the dollar Swiss. It's almost time for break, so we get back, we'll have to look at the dollar yen, the cash dollar index. It'd be interesting to see, in light of where the euro is, where the dollar Swiss is right now. So we're coming into some very key support here. There's our 0061 here. So we probably don't have a whole lot more, but I'm going to, let's take a look at this. Right there. That's pretty solid, but I have to go to 0050. 00. So let's call this for right now. Like I said, we get back and spend more detailed analysis, but I think it's key for where we're at right now. So 0050, let's just, and we're almost there, which is probably going to, looks like it's going to coincide with the euro coming into that 686. Let me see right in here. So something to keep an eye on, and you have that, we just got past the 61%. Now the key is the 716, but I think we'll take a little pause against the 686. So what you want to do is keep an eye on where the dollar Swissy is here at this point. And resistance would be, let's take a look. It's going to have to be that 120. Just like a bias pivot here. See that? It's already time to take a break. So we got the bias chart just to the dollar Swiss, and we're coming to key support. We talked about the 686 here in the euro, so we're coming to support here. Seeing a little bit of a pushback here, so let's see what we do here. Above that, you have 716, and we'll be back. Thanks very much.